The number one question I get asked all the time, Tony, what is effect? What in the is effect? And why is it so general? They tell me, talk to me like I'm 5 years old. Get your juice boxes ready, sit down, I'm gonna talk to you about it. Before I could answer that question effectively, I kind of got it wrong myself because I thought effect was the fastest, the loudest, the most virtuosic moment that you could possibly put together. Now, while those moments are effective, that's not the only effect that you can have. In fact, the best effects are actually the ones that cost $0. I thought it meant the most elaborate props with dragons flying all over the place and breathing fire and video screens and fireworks. Now, those are pretty cool, but not everybody has the budget for that stuff. So what can we do to level the playing field to not divide us in the haves and the have-nots? The good news is good effect, great effect, the effect that gets them out of their seats costs $0. Let's talk about it. Hi, I'm Tony Lyman. I've been designing for the pageantry arts for about 2.5 decades. I started where you started, trying to figure it all out. I was a band director. I was a drum tech at one time. I was a sound designer. I did all of these things, and I wanted to figure out, how can I make an effective show? Through my time in this activity and through what I've learned, I've been able to collaborate with some of the top designers in some of the top ensembles in the activity, and I'm here for you right now. I want to help you learn what I learned. This is Zero to Hero, Pageantry Design for the Left Behind. So seriously, what is effect? Effect is that thing in your show that makes it impactful. The thing that makes people get goosebumps, the thing that makes people get out of their seats without you even asking them to. In fact, you ask them to by what you present to them. It's emotional. It's intellectual. It's a sensory reaction. It's when you can move past the skill of what you're doing and effectively communicate to the audience exactly what you're feeling inside. Now, in the competition that we've made up, we break it down into two different kinds of effects. You have musical effect, and it's that moment of perfect arrival. It's that moment where everything is clicking musically. It's a virtuosic moment, although it doesn't have to be. Sometimes it can just be how quality the moment is. So not every effect is inaccessible. If you can be quality, if you can play quality, if you can sustain quality, that's an effect within itself. And here is a $1 million phrase that you hear on your judges' tapes: excellence as an effect. Ding, 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 ding. It doesn't matter how virtuosic the moment, it is that it's quality and that you're sustaining that moment. Then we have the visual effect moments. How things move, the transitions from one thing to the next. How what we see is what we hear, and what we hear is what we see. Shout out to Terry Sanders for telling me that one. That's something that's really stuck with me through my design years. How well the thing is staged. Are the voices in the right place so that the musical score sounds just as robust as if you were sitting in a concert hall? How does that visual moment connect to the overall emotional moment? That is the effect that you're looking for. And that doesn't cost money. It costs communication, being clever, and making sure that everything is well timed. People think more is more, and sometimes that's true. More volume, more tricks, more this, more that. But I say it's more quality. It doesn't matter if you're playing a concert F and just sustaining that all the way through. That triplet roll, that decrescendos all the way to nothing, if it's played together and that's what you're capable of doing, that effect can get people out of their seats. It's not more is better, but better timing, better clarity, better intent equals better effect. You don't need money. You need intention. Here are 4 things that will put you in a place where you can make some great effect. First, Contrast, loud versus soft, still versus motion. Contrast creates clarity, and clarity equals impact. The next one is the element of surprise, taking things that you're familiar with and turning them on their heads. You set an expectation and you break it. I once did a show about Cupid. We all know who Cupid is, but the premise of the show was, what if Cupid was just like a regular person and screwed up just like everyone does? And they shot the arrow in the wrong person and it put the wrong people together and hilarity ensues. So that's a way that you can go into and take an expectation and turn it on its head. Now, here's the $1 million effect generator that works every single time. You ready? This costs $0 and it is quality. Sustained quality throughout. And whatever that quality is what your ensemble is capable of. If your ensemble is capable of playing a chord in tune, that's what you need to do. You really need to put them in a place, make the musical score transparent, make the staging be to where you can showcase them being able to play in tune. And it doesn't matter how many people are doing that. It could be one person, it could be the entire band. As long as the quality is being sustained throughout the moment, that creates effect. So no breathing dragons, no fireworks. All you need to do is do what you do best for an extended period of time, and that will create effect. One thing that I picked up from Alfred Watkins, and I'm not sure if he even remembers saying this, but he said something that resonated with me. He said when he often adjudicates a band, and in the context we were talking about marching band, he says, I want to see if this group is surviving or thriving, and that had a great impact. So what he means is, if you've given your ensemble a task that you want to generate effect from, the idea that they're making it look effortless, and the idea that they are communicating unencumbered and without restraint, and that they are communicating straight from their soul without skill being a factor in their ability to communicate that moment, that's thriving. But if you give them something that they can barely do, or you see them struggling, that takes away from the effect. So that means that they are just surviving the moment. It doesn't give us the comfort to process that effect moment in the way that we want to maximize that moment. Here are the 3 most effective pageantry moments in the past few years that didn't require any money. They cost $0. Here's my top 3. Number 3. Broken City 2017 in their Spine show. They got to this moment where they just brought the ensemble together. They drew you in with these vocals and they shut everything down, and then 2 isolated rim shots on the left hand. And the audience erupted. Now, why did that happen? They used contrast. They took all of this loud moment before it, they brought it down to nothing, and then they used the unexpected, that you would just isolate it down to 2 single notes. And if you're a percussionist, there's another layer of it. We all know that the left hand playing traditional, playing those shots and being accurate with ping shots is a very difficult skill to do. And they shut everything down to show you that the entire ensemble or an entire snare line was able to do that together. So number 3, Broken City 2017 Spine, isolated rim shots. Number 2, Santa Clara Vanguard 2018 Babylon show. They get to the moment where they're about to do what we know in the activity as a company front. They stop it, and then all of a sudden, the focus is on the entire horn line. They pause, and then there's a horns up, and then they give it to you. The horns up has been around since John Philip Sousa's time, when he asked them to stand up and march down the street. They had to bring their horns up. There's nothing new about that. What was impactful about it is that it was done at the right time. There was clever thinking behind it. It brought all the focus to an expectation, and before the expectation happened, the unexpected happened. And it was so well timed that you could just hear the pop of the horns, and the audience's response after that speaks for itself. Everybody involuntarily were on their feet. That's an effect that costs $0. we can all say that they got their maximum bang for the buck. And number one, Music City Mystique 2024, the Red Line Show. This show was about censorship in the arts and how, artists try to push boundaries, but then there's the idea of, did they go too far? And in this moment, they took a John Cage moment. What is the essence of art? Can art be silent? I think was the idea behind it. And so what they did was they made everything dissipate and go straight to nothing but silence. And this was an uncomfortable silence. There was literally nothing going on the floor. All the performers were still. The audience had to still themselves. And then all of a sudden, backside two, one tenor performer breaks the silence with a scream, and that scream becomes contagious throughout the ensemble. They're literally losing their minds, and this became infectious in UD Arena. The audience joined in. It just created this cacophonous moment that it was just raw and energetic. And then all of a sudden, they cut the sound off, demonstrating that they are in control of their art, whether it be silence or whether it be chaos. The artist dictates that moment. That effect cost $0. It was just well timed, it was primal, it was human. So kudos to Music City Mystique for my number one. I have a personal favorite for that show. My daughter was actually in the front ensemble of that show. Full disclosure. It was raw, it was real, and it was unforgettable. The best effects don't necessarily come from money spent. It doesn't come from you giving your ensemble things that you have seen other groups do that were virtuosic, that you are not really sure if your group can do. Those are mistakes that are often made and often regretted by the end from the design team. They come from knowing exactly what you want the audience to feel. All right, what $0 effects moments did I miss? I know some of you have made your own list. You go, oh, Tony, you missed this moment in such and such, and let me know in the comments, what did I miss? I might do another video like this because they seem to be pretty popular about countdown moments. And I'll also give you credit. If you brought my attention to something that I haven't caught, I will give you credit in the video. Remember, follow me here. Thank you for watching. Peace.